Let's now talk about theatrical plots, how stories come to life on stage. Every play tells a story, but have you ever wondered why some stories feel satisfying, exciting, or emotional, powerful? This has a lot to do with plot. That is the structure of events that unfold in a play. Understanding how they work helps us recognize patterns, appreciate a playwright's choices, and engage more deeply as audience members. Today, we will look at the basic elements of plot and the most common types of theatrical plot structures. First off, what is plot? Plot is the sequence of events in a play. It is what happens and in what order. It is not just what happens, but how it unfolds, why it happens, and how it affects the characters in the story. A strong plot creates tension, reveals character, and drives the audience's emotional experience. The classic plot structure, Aristotelian or well-made play, follows the basic structure, often attributed to Aristotle, starts with exposition. This is the introduction of characters, setting, and background information. We then move to the inciting incident. This is the moment that sets the plot in motion. Rising action is next, a series of complications or conflicts that build tension. The climax, which is the turning point or most intense moment of the play. The falling action, events that happen as a result of the climax. And the resolution or denouement, where the conflict is resolved and all of the loose ends are tied up. For example, in Romeo and Juliet, the exposition introduces the feud. The inciting incident is their meeting. The climax is Romeo's banishment, and the resolution or denouement is the tragic deaths of the lovers. Alternative plot structures. Not all plays follow this beginning, middle, end module. Some experiment with form and time. We start with episodic plot. It jumps across time or space. It includes multiple characters, multiple subplots. It is often used in more modern or experimental plays. A really good example is Angels in America by Tony Kushner or Mother Courage by Brecht. We can then go to circular plot. It ends where it began, often to emphasize futility or repetition. Waiting for Godot by Beckett, nothing really changes, which is the point. Or Merrily We Roll Along by Stephen Sondheim, which starts at the end, and then we go back to the beginning and start over. Next is the fragmented or nonlinear plot. It breaks the traditional timeline. Events may be told out of order, or they may repeat. Emphasizes memory, perception, psychological depth. A really good example of this would be A Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, which is told through memory. I have to get back to our spot. Conflict, which is the heart of plot. No conflict, no story. Conflict is what drives the plot forward. Types of conflict include person versus person, an external conflict between characters. Person versus self, an internal struggle within your own self. Person versus society, rebelling against norms or injustice. Person versus fate, nature, God, often found in tragedies. Person versus fate, nature, God. Oedipus is an excellent example of that. Oedipus struggling against his fate. Person versus society, Angels in America. Person versus person, most modern plays that are written today. Plot versus story. The story is everything that could happen in the world of the play. Plot is what the playwright chooses to show us about the world of the play. Good playwrights know how to craft plot to keep the audience engaged, guessing, and emotionally involved. Theatrical plots aren't just about what happens. They're about how and why it happens and what that reveals about the human experience. Whether they are linear or experimental, comedic or tragic, plots are the skeletons that support the living, breathing art of theater.